Hey there, thanks for joining me on this tutorial. Today I'm going to go over Adobe Premiere Pro and I'm going to show you how I edit with a two-camera shoot. So I've been out, I shot two cameras simultaneously, and now I'm going to take that footage and I'm going to show you how you would sync it up and edit it together in Premiere. So first you'll open your program. Okay, so when you have your program opened, you'll have a window similar to this. I'm going to create a new project, and then it may have a default here, but you should really look at where is it going to. Is it going to a desktop where you have no idea? The first is the general, and then the second is the scratch disk. So in short, like the scratch disk is going to be the place where all the project files, like the backups, are going to be saved. So let's say if you're working on an external hard drive and it crashed, but you were rendering your files to your desktop, there is a possibility that if you could get that footage back in its raw form, and you had everything properly synced, I would imagine you could bring it back somehow. I personally have not done that, but I have done it in Sony Vegas, and so I'm feeling like this would be extremely similar. So just pay attention to where it's going and just don't send it into La La Land, but find a place for it to go so then you can go back and access it. Otherwise, it takes up a ton of space, and if you don't notice, the next thing you know, you're out of space, and then you'll see this folder. That's happened to me before with Premiere. So just be careful. Anyhow, so you can title it. Okay, and then here we are with the blank canvas. My project window is highlighted. I'm going to right click in it and say new bin. There is an icon down at the bottom here that you can create another new bin. And let's say, you'd put camera 1 and camera 2 bins. And then you would double click in that, and then you would import your footage. Find your footage, import it, and then you will have some media in there. Now you go into your camera 1, you can close that out. You can go into your camera 1 and you do the identical thing. Import your media. Okay, and so, but now you have nothing down here. What you want to do is just select, one of the, I don't know, I just do the main one, and you would just say new sequence from clip, and that will drop your video down there, and it'll match your properties to this project. First, you must start with syncing your audio. Syncing audio can feel daunting when you get in it, but it really doesn't have to be. You just must look at your waveforms. Now I have really good audio. So then once you have your first video files laid on your track, you can go in and you can go into your second camera or your first camera or wherever it is and grab all your video files, and then you would just drag them on down into your timeline. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll just stop there at the end. I've already done this, but I would just grab all these clips. Oops. And then I just make sure they're all selected and then drag them in. And close this window. Now really it's just about looking for a visual in the beginning. Okay, so I always just, when I'm bringing in my two tracks, I take a minute and I look at the waveforms. I make them smaller. I'm going to actually go in and audio adjust. This was my backup camera, and if you wanted to see, you would just mute this out. But right now, my channels, they're linked. My audio and my video is together. So if I click on it, then I can see the coordinating clip that goes along with it. At this point, you want to have it selected. If you don't want it on, you would go unlink, and that's what you do after you get started. But you need to sync up your video. I just go for like these clues, you know, like this, and then know that, okay, well, that's the beginning, of course, and then that's where they get started. And a lot of times you'll start your backup camera first, so you just have to factor that in. Some people will clapboard and whatnot. You can do that. That's awesome. But here you go. You can see that the one camera was just started a lot later. And then once you see that connection, it just all clicks. And then you say, why didn't I see that in the beginning, right? But you just know that your backup camera probably has a lot of stuff sitting there because, you know, you can't be at this position here when they're like starting it up and you're supposed to be over here working. Now you just want to expand. I'm using my plus and minus key to really get in there. And you just drag it along. And you can see the numbers. So if you want to get, you know, really finite, then 1, -1.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Paul Seabear. I'm the president of the Worldwide
So once you would just mute that one track.
College of Auctioneering here in Denver, Colorado. And welcome.
Okay. And I actually live streamed this video, so I didn't ever edit it, have the need to edit it because they just live streamed it. So that's what I do to sync it up. And then I always do the same thing. I mute the one channel and listen to it. Unmute it, mute this channel, listen to it, listen to them both. So now once you have that, you just have to unlink them. Because if you didn't unlink them, then this is what happens. Oh, I just want to, you know, make my cuts. So now you have to think, like, here's the beginning of my video.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
But now you just don't want to start out your video with a big abrupt cut. What I'm going to do is put some dissolves. You can just put these transitions, these, you know, automatic transition in it. Or you can use keyframes. I like to fade mine up all nice. I'm going to unlink this one. I'm going to like bring it in a bit. And now I want some black video, right? I need some like to fade up from black. So if you need black or bars or whatever, you just go to new item. And then here's all your bars and tone, all these things here. Just going to use a black video, and then it comes up with a video setting, and if you know it doesn't seem like it's matching your HD footage, if it is, then change it, but it normally knows. It's pretty smart. Here it is, and then you would just drag it right down into your timeline. So when I have an effect like this, like an effect with a video, I'll normally use the default transition, and then I'll just make it a little bit shorter. But for my top video track, I'm always using keyframing. I don't know why, I just think it's smoother. I think the dissolves in Premiere are just not as nice as in Sony Vegas. Sony Vegas, very smooth. Premiere, it like pops.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
There we go. So you can put up your title page and all that.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Have it up here.
My name is Paul Seabear. I'm the president of the Worldwide College of Auctioneering.
And make sure you pay attention to your audio over here. Premiere definitely can get loud, so make sure that
Here in Denver, Colorado.
you're not maxing out.
And, welcome. Today is September 12, 2014. We're here at the Country Inn and Suites at the Denver International Airport, and we're here for the September 2014 Worldwide College of Auctioneering class auction. And we're going to have some...
Okay, so I know that they're going to get pretty loud
class members from 14 states and
anyhow, so pretty much that's it. Once you have everything synced up, then it's just a matter of making sure your video tracks are unlinked and making sure that you go to your appropriate tool, your cut tool. Here you go. And you would just click on where you want cut. And then C is the shortcut, keyboard shortcut, and V is the next one you want. V and for the tool that can drag your video down. Now I'm dragging it independently because I've unlinked the videos. You could right click or click on it and then you could, you know, bring in your transition, your default transition. To go to the old school way, you go into video transitions, dissolve, and here they are. You know, you could dip to black at the end, or no, you wouldn't want to dip to black. That would be, anyhow, so you can take an additive dissolve, let's say, and try that. You have your cross dissolve, and then you would just pop it in there, and then cross dissolve is really the default. Cross dissolving meaning it's taking video from clip A and then taking video from clip B and then taking a little bit to create the dissolve in between the two. So that's what that means. So it's just a matter of watching it from here on out and making your cuts. If you were done and you wanted to end your video, you just hold down the shift key, and the shift key will actually cut all these videos at once. You want to select all your clips and you were done with a little portion that you wanted to edit, you just hold down the shift and you draw your box around all your video clips. You could drag them wherever you wanted, expand back into your track, then you want to put your black video back in. Apply a transition. Make sure that you have all of fades unless you like cuts. Some people like cuts. I think cuts can be good. So I always like to fade my audio out nice and slow, because otherwise you could put in this default transition and drag it. But I still am just, you know, a firm believer in keyframes.
There's even an auctioneer that came from the great country of Australia. Here is a young lady who was born in China.
So there you have it. That can get you started with 2-camera edit, endless possibilities. Thanks for watching.